There's no need to hurry. The meeting's not until 3 p.m., so we've got ample time. Some flowers are actually edible and can be used in salads to add both color and flavor. How can you say the competition judge wasn't biased towards the winner? It was her daughter. The weather forecast for the match is fairly grim. Let's stay in and watch it on TV instead. In the dream, I suddenly realized I was naked, and of course I felt incredibly embarrassed. Working in a team with others was hard to get used to after his more solitary life as a writer. The vegetables are fine, but they're slightly bland, so I'm going to add just a little salt. Most of the bird species discovered on the island are now extinct, but some still survive there. All the goods stores are on the street that runs parallel to the one where our hotel is located. After years of conflict, the countries are finally talking, as diplomatic relations have been restored. I like this restaurant. The soft lights and antique furniture create a very elegant atmosphere. He may be perfectly harmless, but he looks so sinister that people find it hard to trust him. Winning such a massive contract would be a sensational result for a small company like ours. She's not at all flexible. I don't think she could even bend down and touch her toes. I've been looking after the soil in my garden, and it's far more fertile now than it used to be. As the men were dressed inappropriately, they were not permitted to enter the restaurant. Each contestant has to perform one song in front of a live audience. The performance was rather chaotic, even though we'd planned everything carefully. The bridge is probably safe, but we're carrying out some work to improve its stability in high winds. I'm not sure globalization has been good for the economy of my country. Whenever I mention his name, there's a sign of recognition on her face. She is a direct descendant of the ancient king himself. He can't have handed in his resignation. Only yesterday, he was saying what a great company this was. She's bound to win the race. It'd be absolutely incomprehensible if she didn't. Don't expect Tony to notice your haircut. He's probably the most unobservant person I've ever met. Don't disturb her. She's absorbed in her work. Communication technology is changing fast, and there are some very exciting developments on the horizon. Are you tall or short in comparison with the rest of your family? This information is strictly confidential. I called Emma to wish her a happy birthday, but couldn't get through to her. I phoned the bank and was kept on hold for 15 minutes before anyone spoke to me. good teachers will always manage to strike a balance between fun and learning. He's quite a private person. He tends to keep a low profile. Jack was an academic child, but he was lacking in common sense. In a lottery, the winning numbers must, of course, be chosen at random. She lost her first 2 games, but bounced back and won the match. Sometimes I like to buy things on impulse. William's new sports car isn't at all practical. He only bought it as a status symbol. I try to save money by buying things in bulk if I can. All the problems he says he has appear to stem from a lack of confidence. I know it's by a famous designer, but I still can't believe she got me a vest for my birthday. Although I enjoy studying law at university, I think working as a solicitor would be pretty dull. I'll use the vacuum cleaner to clear up the fluff that's collected at the bottom of the wardrobe. There was a feeling of awe among the crowd as they watched the rocket being launched. The pile of crockery fell onto the kitchen floor, smashing into 100 little pieces. Larry, forming a tight fist with his right hand, waited for trouble to start. Tim will be able to mend your table. He was a professional carpenter for 10 years. The king's triumph in the final battle against the rebels changed the course of history. The boy said the crust on the bread was too hard for him, and he asked me to cut it off. This particular runway is long enough for large aircraft, but the other two aren't. The wedding invitations were sent out at short notice, so there was hardly any time to find a suitable gift. You can take it from me. This is a good restaurant. I come here a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like George a lot, but I couldn't live with him. That's all. We'd expected rain on the wedding day, but on the contrary, we were blessed with brilliant sunshine. I'm afraid I don't really have an ear for music. He's learning Portuguese with a view to going out there next year. The money was being collected in aid of charity. His company is very creative. It's at the cutting edge of computer design. My mom's eyesight is poor, but she can read with the aid of glasses. If we get the project done ahead of time, we'll be able to have a short holiday. Give your laptop to Nick. He'll be able to fix it in no time. When Caroline walked into the room, I knew at a glance that something was wrong. I think children should, within reason, be free to do what they like. I will stop at nothing to get what I want. Is there much call for English teachers in this area? You need to gain control of your emotions. My favorite radio program is being broadcast. It's hard for me to find enough money to pay for everything. You should defend yourself against him. I decided not to take advantage of the opportunity. Why don't we finish now? She has money saved for the future. I learned how to do the job very quickly. They attracted a lot of attention during the party. Are you quite keen on him?
Your skills are key to the success of this plan. Without them, it'll fail. This isn't actually my book. It's on loan from my local library. If we're in luck, Richard will be at the party and he can give us a lift home afterwards. Something in the region of 60% of the population voted in the last election. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before she becomes a famous actress. Janet should try to look at things from a different angle. It might help her understand why her employees are unhappy. I'm rather behind the times, so I probably won't know half the bands playing at the festival. If we don't get to the wedding party soon, we'll miss out on the food. They both claim to be qualified doctors, but they're nothing of the sort. You'll make more progress if you try to take on board what I say. We have to tell the public everything is fine, but off the record, I'm beginning to get a little worried. I've got the best of both worlds. I love my work and get paid well too. I quite fancy going to the art gallery this weekend if there's anything new on show. Our football club relies on the experienced players to act as role models for the younger ones. I'm in two minds about the plan for a picnic tomorrow. The weather doesn't look very good. Paul's paintings are amazing. He's got a real flair for art. Her biggest flaw is that she doesn't really listen to other people's opinions. In those days, the penalty for such a crime was death by hanging. The manager used to get very angry if the waiters didn't fold every napkin perfectly. Every new electrical gadget Philip buys for the kitchen ends up at the back of a cupboard. Rebecca was happy because her new dormitory at school had very comfortable beds. For some reason, the escalator wasn't working, so we had to walk up. Ken deliberately put his bag next to him on the bench so that nobody else would sit there. The facilities for sport and recreation that the hotel offers are the best in the area. I prefer the maid they have now. She's much more efficient than the last one they employed.